A suspending jerkbait is a lure that I have fished for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I caught my first jerkbait bass in 2013, 11 years ago. Yep, that's me, the kid with the braces, holding a bass I probably told all my friends weighed 6 pounds, when in reality it was far short of that, but I digress. In this video, I'm gonna teach you one major jerkbait tip that helped me catch that bass 11 years ago and has helped me catch almost every jerkbait bass since. My name's Tyler, and let's talk about it.
Another giant, another giant. Look at that, y'all.
I can't believe what I just caught.
Yes!
Today's video is brought to you by the Bass Forecast mobile app. More on them to come later in the video. Now, if you were to scroll Tackle Warehouse, you would find pages upon pages of hard plastic jerkbaits. And for the most part, they have the same action and purpose. Purpose being to imitate some form of bait fish the bass are eating, and action, jerky, I guess? But what differentiates the jerkbaits from one another is the category they are in. And I don't mean the difference between shallow diving and deep diving jerkbaits. I'm talking about the categories of sinking, suspending, and floating jerkbaits. And those categories are where the tip I'm gonna teach you guys today comes from. But I think to best teach you guys this jerkbait tip, you've gotta watch this clip very closely of one of my most recent jerkbait catches.
Bum, bum. There's one. On the paws. On the stinking paws. What a good one. Let's go. Ugh, got him.
So after watching that jerkbait catch, did you notice what happened in that clip? Well, multiple things actually happened in that clip, and we're gonna break that down in detail here in a second. But the number one reason why I caught that fish with the jerkbait is because I wasn't in a rush. I was fishing my suspending jerkbait
really slow.
And that right there is what I wanna talk about in today's video. I believe if you fish your suspending jerkbaits as slow as molasses in your ponds and lakes, especially in cold water, you're gonna catch a whole lot more fish. Now you'll notice I said suspending jerkbaits, and I've said it multiple times in this video, and not sinking or floating. Why is that? Well, that's because for most anglers, a sinking jerkbait is a snagged lure in an empty pocketbook waiting to happen. And so unless you're a bass boat or a kayak angler, you've got deep water and preferably forward-facing sonar like livescope, a sinking jerkbait is not a smart financial move. And floating jerkbaits to me are best applied in the post-spawn to summer and fall when the water is warmer, and I just would prefer to catch them on other lures. I'm sure you can smoke them in ponds and lakes on a jerkbait when the water's warm, but I would rather throw vibrating jigs and topwater and frogs and soft plastics and a swim jig, lots of lures that I find more fun than a jerkbait. And so for me, in the cold winter months, that's when a jerkbait shines. Where I live here in Texas and all across the country, I think for most people, a suspending jerkbait is what they throw, and that's why I'm recommending it to you guys. So I'm not saying you can't go out and buy a good sinking jerkbait, or on the flip side, a floating jerkbait, but I think for most anglers, suspending is what makes the most sense. So let's break down what happened in that catch a little more, starting with the retrieve. When the water temperature is below 55, or especially below 50, I'm rarely letting the pause in between my jerks be anything less than 3 to 5 seconds. If I'm jerking it faster than that, somebody needs to slap me to tell me to slow down. When bass are living in cold water, the water in this clip being in the 40s, I have noticed they need a few extra seconds in between pauses to inspect your jerkbait before committing to eat it. I'm not saying you can't make them react during the cold winter months, but for the most part, if you are blind fishing, what I mean by that is you don't have forward-facing sonar, whether in a bass boat, a kayak, or especially from the bank, I think it's gonna be to your benefit to let a suspending jerkbait sit for a few seconds in between pauses. You're gonna catch a whole lot more fish doing that. And once you find how long the fish on that body of water on that day prefer the jerkbait to be sat still, the bass will start to tell you they want it on the pause. Here it is on the same day, same body of water happening again. And just down the bank, it happened again.
Do you have an old Trex on your aluminum?
I have a
There's one.
Now, if I had arrived at that lake with the mindset that I had 11 years ago when I caught my first jerkbait bass, I more than likely wouldn't have caught a single fish that day. And that is because at that time in my fishing journey, I just didn't quite understand how weather affects our bodies of water, how the wind and cold fronts make water colder, affect fish behavior. But good thing now we have Bass Forecast that can help you keep up with that in real time. Bass Forecast is a mobile app that is built around an algorithm specifically designed around the life cycle of a bass. All you've got to do is put your location in into the app and it will spit out a recommended list of lures, locations, and retrieve speeds to try on your body of water on that day. And this app, Bass Forecast, actually helped me understand how slow to work my jerkbait on the fishing clips I've been showing you. We are the only fishing app that actually uses weather data to help predict how fish should be biting up to 10 days advance in the future, called our Bass Forecast rating, and you can use that to help plan which days to take off work, to get a babysitter, and go fishing. I am a co-owner and co-designer of the app itself. I have a whole lot of confidence that it'll help you guys catch more fish. Matter of fact, I put my face in the app with tons of instructional videos. If you want to check it out, I will leave it linked down in the video description. It is $20 for the premium version for the entire year, and when you get that, you get a $20 Tackle Warehouse gift card, making it practically free. So thank you to Bass Forecast for sponsoring this channel. Let's get back to talking about the jerkbait. Now, you may have noticed in these clips I've been showing you, I have two friends in the boat with me, and that is Max and his dad from Minnesota. They bought my 2023 Skeeter, and so we were doing some on-the-water training with the new boat before they took it up to Minnesota for the winter. And just like I do here on YouTube, I love teaching fishing tips in person as well whenever I get the chance. And I can't believe I honestly got this on video, but check out this last clip of Max working his jerkbait too fast, me as the instructor correcting him, and him seeing immediate results.
Do a little bit less movement, just, yeah, you're jerking it really hard, just subtle, even less than that.
Really?
I don't think they need to be triggered right now. I think most of these bites are curiosity bites. They're biting it because they're curious about what it is. You're going too fast, homie.
Too fast?
Slow yourself down. Just wait for the puck to get past. Yes! See? What did I tell you?
Yeah. The pause? Oh, that's a good one.
And the pause got him a stinking 4-pounder. Yeah, beautiful fish. Heck yeah. That was the best teaching moment I've ever had. Hey, give me some of that.
Now, there are two more things that I feel like I need to teach you guys that I learned from this fishing trip, and they're kind of in relation to winter fishing as a whole. And so the first one being, you cannot let cold water, especially cold, dirty water, deter you from throwing moving baits. Fish will still eat them. I still sometimes catch myself thinking that on those cold winter days, the water's in the 40s and the 50s, maybe it's super bright sunny conditions, that the fish are only gonna bite the stereotypical wintertime finesse stuff. So, you know, the jigging spoon, drop shot, Ned rig, that kind of stuff. But that fishing day that I've been showing you, water in the 40s, it is cold, ice is almost on the lake, the fish still bite moving baits. And a matter of fact, I saw a video of Hank Cherry, I'll kind of put some B-roll on the screen right here, a classic champion on Lake Norman this winter catching bass on a shallow diving flat-sided crankbait. Now, he's retrieving it very, very slow, but I keep seeing time and time again that fish in cold water will eat moving baits. So if you're struggling with catching them on hard baits in the winter, put one in your hand, lock it all day long, never throw anything else, and I promise you'll gain some confidence. And the second tip is that you don't need ultra clear water for a bass to find and bite a suspending jerkbait. That's a lie that I believed for far too long. The water visibility on this fishing day was probably 1.5 foot max, which definitely fits in the stained category. Now, I would recommend if you do have dirtier water and you want to catch them on a jerkbait, can you throw a cool translucent shad type color? You can, but I would go with one that has a little more contrast, and that is almost a straight white or a bone with some shad variations, some chartreuse, maybe a black dot, some blue mixed in. But I think the difference is drastic in terms of fish being able to see the lure if it is a straight white, almost bone finish, as opposed to a translucent shad, which I do very well with in clear water. And as always, I have the rod, reel, line, and baits, and now the hooks that I use for the jerkbaits, the VMC Red Line. I love replacing my jerkbaits with those hooks, especially if the bass are barely nipping at it. I have all my tackle linked in the video description below. If you can shop for your tackle at Tackle Warehouse using those links, it would help the channel out tremendously. If you want to see my full-length jerkbait masterclass teaching you guys everything you need to know about this lure, I will leave that link up here in the corner. My name's Tyler, as always. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you guys next time right here on TRF.
That's a thick fish.